Guys, what's up? In today's video, I'll give you an in-depth guide on how to become very good at Slasher in Forsaken. So let's get straight into it. I'm using the default skin because I just don't want you guys to get confused with the skins and stuff, and it's just classic, so yeah. We've got my alt account right here. Wait, I got some for you. Okay. So Jason has 4 moves. Well, not Jason, Slasher. First move is Slash. It does 20 base damage and 6 bleeding damage, which does actually 8 bleeding damage, which does a total of 28 damage. Next move is Behead. This makes it so when you use it, you lunge forward and hit a survivor. And it does 20 damage and gives them helpless for 8 seconds, which makes it so they can't take damage. And for the next ability, it's called Gashing Wound. So for this move, just waiting for him to heal, you hit the survivor into a wombo combo, and it does 50 damage in total. Just gotta healing my alt account. And the final move is Raging Pace. Raging Pace does multiple things. The first being, it highlights the survivor closest to you. Yes, that's the first thing it does. And it makes your stamina go all the way up to like a 90 or 100 and then it goes down till 70 and stays at 70 until you stop doing Raging Pace. Raging Pace also makes your moves enraged, which I'll show you what they do in a second. Okay, so an enraged slash does 25 normal damage, and I'm not sure how much bleeding damage it does, but it does some. Enraged Behead does 35 damage and still does helpless, and an enraged Gashing Wound does 70 damage. The only reason it's not showing it here is because the regeneration I gave my alt. So, yes. Raging Pace also makes it so you cannot be stunned. So, So, let's say the Shadletsky was gonna stun me. I could use Raging Pace and they can't hit me, and then I could punish it with a Gashing. Or something like that. Here's what it would look like in-game. Okay, so this is what it would look like. So let's say I would run out of stamina. Shadletsky would run up. It's hard to do this because I'm controlling this on my phone, so sorry if it's not very high quality. They'll try to slash. I use Raging Pace and Gashing. That was just the in-depth guide of moves. Now for the actual, how you play him. You have to always be managing stamina. To manage stamina, I run until your stamina reaches 40, and then walk a little bit. But don't walk too long or the survivors will get away. But if you reach super low stamina, like 10 stamina or lower, then you can use Raging Pace to get your stamina back. And when it hits 90, use your enraged slash if you do a slash, it slows you for a few seconds. And that slowness is just enough time to get back to full stamina, which is nice. You also have to play aggressive with Slasher. Always be chasing and hitting survivors. Abuse that scuffed hitbox. Oh wait, I have spamming on. So, basically, if there's a guest, though, just pretend this is a guest. You have to also try to bait, though. Like, you could try to bait with Raging Pace. But there's not many good baits you can actually do with Slasher. But, I mean, I think Slasher can easily... I don't know. Just depends if you're good at baiting or not. And faking out your moves. Like, but if you're like that, that's still gonna hit them. Hold up, let me heal them. Okay, now that they're healing. Behead. So, Behead, you usually use it when you're starting a chase. So, you would start the chase and hit them with the Behead. It's also used as a finishing move. So, let's say the Shedletsky was one shot, which she's not one shot, then you'd finish them with a Behead. Because it's easier to hit for the finishing move, and it gives you extra money. Even if you miss or hit a Behead, it gives you slowness 1 for 2 seconds. Even if you do hit it. So be aware of that. For Gashing Wound, you don't really use this unless you're like, let's say that you're chasing the survivor. When if they stop sprinting, then hit them with the Gashing Wound. Don't try to get your Raging Pace into a Gashing. There's only a couple ways you can do that. Another way to use Gashing is... Let me find a generator real quick. Nope. There's one down here. Alright, let me just get my alt account over here. Oh, hello, Shedletsky. Oh, bye, Shedletsky. So let's say he was doing a gen. I could either try to hit him with a Gashing or Enraged Gashing. Enraged Gashing's harder because it makes you a lot slower. So I recommend just running up and hitting a normal Gashing if you can. Eat your chicken, boy, you will need it. Wait, how fast can I get him to heal? This is off topic, but... How fast can Shedletsky heal? Okay, so... Jason also counters looping. If you're being looped and you forget to stamina manage, also use Raging Pace. I mean, that's mostly it. There's not a lot to Jason, really. Not Jason Slasher. Now I'm going to tell you what moves counter what. So, if there's a Shedletsky like this, and you miss your Enraged Gashing, the Shedletsky could go and slash you and run away. Which is not good. For Behead, let's say this was a guest. The guest would easily see that you're trying to do a Behead and would block. Which is not what we want. Let's just heal the alt account. They could try to, like, a Shedletsky could try to do a slash, but it's hard for me to do while doing this because it's hard trying to control 2 accounts at once. See that like that? Kind of like that. Because it makes the Shedletsky take less damage, and it gives them their stun. But guests would mostly counter that because they would easily see it and just block it. For Gashing, if you hit a survivor with the Gashing, a guest can just walk up while you're doing the Gashing and just block and get a free punch. Overall, the slash isn't really countered by much, because it is a 0.2 wind up, making it hard to block by a guest. So, nothing really counters that. So, I mean, basically the biggest tip though is to be aggressive. Like that kind of aggressive. But that was really it for today's video, guys. Bye.